Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. All right, you guys, so you guys are getting this from a different vantage point in the studio. Okay, I'm in the front seat because I purchased a cabinet from IKEA. And it's 3 boxes, and the boxes is heavy as fuck. I can't get them out, so I gotta wait till some of the strong people in the house get home so they can get it out for me. But yeah, that's why we here. So, you know, something new, something fresh, you guys. I'm gonna change the order of the topics that I was gonna talk about today because I just finished watching a special report on the shooter up there in Maine. So I was just like, I know Envy the Ivy, I know you're up there, your daughter is up that way. I know, I have a lot of rock stars that are up that way, and you know, of course, I want you guys to all be safe. Hopefully by the time this gets posted on Friday, today is Thursday, hopefully by the time this gets posted on Friday, they will have found the gunman. But just in case they haven't, I just wanted to let you guys know what to look out for. Okay, so they say that 40-year-old Robert Card went into a couple of different locations. Schminji's, I believe is the way that you say it, Bar and Grill. Excuse me if I'm saying it wrong, but Schminji's, I believe, Bar and Grill, and also Spare Time Recreation. He went in. One was a bowling alley and other things that they had going on there. Apparently, he went in there and he opened fired and killing so far 18 people. Yesterday, they were saying that it could be somewhere around 22 people. Last night when it happened, they were just estimating. But 18 that are confirmed dead as of just now. The investigator just told us on the TV. But yeah, he went in there, he opened fire, he killed all these people. He is still on the run. I don't know how he was able to get away, but they say that he is a trained firearms specialist and trainer. So he actually teaches other people how to shoot. He is in the Army National Guard, the Army Reserves, and they said that he recently had been having issues with mental health. They said he was recently diagnosed, or I don't know recently, but he was diagnosed with bipolarism, and I think they even mentioned some schizophrenia. And so they're looking for him. He's posted pictures of himself in the past on Facebook and other social media, they say, of him holding semi-automatic rifles and the such. So that is one of the pictures that they have posted, you know, all around for this manhunt. But anyway, yeah, they haven't found him. So there's this huge manhunt up there. I know that Envy the Ivy, I know you said your daughter is in school up there. And I know many of you guys work out there, live out there, you know, you are out and about in Lewiston. This is in Lewiston, Maine. But they say that they have shut the city down and they will continue to keep it shut down until they can figure out where his whereabouts are. The fact that he's a trained shooting specialist is worrisome, because we know that that probably means that he has maybe not marksman type skill, but he can probably shoot from far away and hit his target. And so he doesn't even have to be really near a victim in order for him to, you know, so that's the reason why it's scary, because he could be hiding, he could be lying in wait somewhere, you would never know. And then all of a sudden, it kind of reminds me of the sniper situation when DC years ago, when we were having that, and everybody was terrified. You didn't even have to be in DC. Hell, I was in LA. And we was terrified in LA. Okay, everybody. You got people walking to their damn cars, you know, at the grocery store, and they were like, make sure you moving. It's just sort of like, you know, you got to always be in motion, because they didn't want him to hit you, you know. So it kind of reminds me of that same situation. I know, very, very scary, especially for people up there who don't know, you know, where he is or anything like that. The fact that they have his picture out, though, is going to make it very hard for him to move around, you know, like he probably has been able to do in the dark and all over the night. But now that the picture is out, everybody knows what he looks like. I'm sure the people that know him and then people that have just seen him on TV, people are going to be on the lookout. So they're going to catch him. It's just a matter of time. And hopefully between now and when they catch him, he hasn't killed anybody else. Okay, so prayers up for the families that were affected, the people, the 18 families that are, you know, that now have to be making plans for their loved ones that were killed, those that were injured. I don't have a number of the amount of people that were injured, but I can imagine that there were probably a lot of people that were injured in the melee and all. Prayers up for everybody. Hopefully they catch him. You guys be careful, but also be on the lookout for Robert Card. Do not approach him, they say. Let me make sure I put that in there. Do not approach him. I'm sure you guys know that. My rock stars already got sense, child. They ain't trying to do all that. Y'all just call 911. Make sure that you just get him, you know, if you do see him, that you get him arrested so that we can deal with him properly, okay? Y'all hold your head up out there in Lewiston. Y'all be careful. Next story.
You keep it natural, stay in your bag like you wearing satchels.
All right, you guys. So originally I was going to start with the politics because a few things have happened. First, remember I told you guys last week that WhatsApp had retweeted a link that had the Attorney General's home address, I believe, posted on there. Okay, and we were thinking that he was going to get hit by the judge because remember he had already been hit with a gag order, so we were thinking that he was going to be fined or hopefully put in jail for some, you know, for that. And remember the judge had already warned him from the other tweet that he did when he was trying to say that Mitch McConnell was not Mitch McConnell, but the Chuck Schumer was girlfriend with the clerk of the judge, remember? So we thought that he was going to get fined for that. He did end up getting a $10,000 fine, but that wasn't the reason. The reason why he got this $10,000 fine is because right before he was scheduled to go into court yesterday, he was talking to the press outside. And you guys know WhatsApp, one of his downfalls definitely is a fact that he cannot resist. He has to say what he wants to say. He just has to say it, okay? Even if it means that it's going to be a problem for him, he's still going to say it. So while he's out there talking to the news people, he says that this judge is partisan, very partisan. And of course, when he gets into the court, the judge didn't like that because the judge had already said, do not speak on nobody in this courtroom, okay? None of the staff. And I would imagine that means the judge too, okay? And I don't know what's wrong with WhatsApp because, I mean, it seems like anybody would know. Common sense is that you don't piss off the judge. But WhatsApp is so arrogant. He believes that he is the end-all, be-all, and he believes that he is above anything, you know, including possibly going to jail for his thoughts or his actions. You know, he just feels like he can do and say what he want to do, and up until now he's been able to. So that is why we found ourselves in this very peculiar position where now it looks like WhatsApp is finally having to pay, albeit very small, but it looks like he's having to pay now for the things that he's done. $10,000 in the grand scheme of things is like 10 cents, really, compared to all of the shit that he has said and done, right? But yeah, so he's got this fine for $10,000, and you know, the judge says this is going to be way worse if something else happens. I'm hoping that, I'm not even hoping, I'm almost positive that WhatsApp is going to do something else that could possibly land him in jail. It's just going to depend on whether or not the judge is going to have the balls to actually throw this man in jail. He is a former president. Y'all former president, not mine, y'all. But anyway, he's a former president, you know, so that is still a lot. The fact that nothing like this has ever been done, I would imagine that that is still a lot of pressure and stress even on the judge to be the one to have to do something like this. So I'm sure the judge is not necessarily wanting to be the person for this, but this is the job that he's been called to do. And if WhatsApp keep out there acting a goddamn fool, then we're going to have to pull his card. Okay, and we're gonna have to teach him a lesson, and that means at least let him just spend a week in jail. I'm telling you, it would just be, I mean, can you imagine? And can you imagine what would be happening in that jailhouse, child? I tell you. So anyway, yeah, that's what's happening there. White Sap and the circus that continues to surround him. Moving on from him, good news, you guys. They have chosen a House Representative Speaker. That's right, you guys. The Speaker of the House has been chosen. Okay, Mike Jones. Mike Jones. Mike Jones. His name's not Mike Jones. I have it in my notes as Mike Jones. It's actually Mike Johnson. He was, he's out of Louisiana. He looks nothing like Mike Jones, the rapper, you guys. But anyway, he has accepted, well, he hasn't accepted, but they voted him in. Actually, he needed 215 votes, I believe, from the Republicans. The Republicans, 222, was it? Let me see. 220 Republicans voted for him. Okay, and all 209 Democrats all 209 I can't talk today. All 209 Democrats unanimously voted for Hakeem Jeffries to take the position. But since Mike Johnson got all of the votes that he needed, he is the person, honey. They already had his sign. They was already nailing it up to the wall after he got caught. I said, well, damn, I guess they went immediately to press, right? Okay. And this ends 3 weeks of some chaotic times over there in the House. Okay. They've been running by themselves, and much like grade school, maybe even nursery school kids, you know, they need somebody that's going to run the place. So we got that, and I guess we'll see, child, what happens now that we got a Speaker of the House, if there are any changes. I'm curious to see how America will move within all of these wars now that we got somebody that can sign the sign the checks, okay, and forward them on. So we'll see, y'all. We'll see. But yeah, at least now we've got a little bit more order in our American democracy, you guys. Does this make you happy?
Baby, you a godsend, just missing the sandals. But still, you ain't missing much. Put your hands on my back.
All right, you guys, next story. So this story is crazy. And I know that if I was this woman, I'd be suing the hell out of everybody. Okay? Damn it, you're going to give me some money. I know money don't replace people, but you're going to make me feel better in the best way that I can figure out will make me feel better. And money is always going to make me feel better. I don't know who was the idiot that said that money don't make you happy. It will make you happier. I know that. Anyway, down in Mississippi, I'm sure you guys have seen this story if you guys are on on Instagram. Down in Mississippi, there was a woman, Betterston Wade. She reported her son, 37-year-old Dexter Wade, missing. Okay, apparently her and Dexter had an argument one evening back in March 5th to be exact. They had an argument. He left the house with a friend and she never saw him again. Okay, she reported him missing, much to the chagrin of her mother. Her mother was just like, I don't know why you trying to reach out to the police, because you already know they ain't gonna do nothing. Okay, now the family has distrust for the police in Jackson, Mississippi, because some years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, Betterston's her brother, her 62-year-old brother was killed by the police. Apparently they were arresting him or trying to restrain him, and one police slammed him to the ground. He ended up dying from that. So the family had a lawsuit against them, the police department and everything. They didn't win the lawsuit, and so the family hasn't seen it for the police out there since. So the mother was just like, I mean, you can reach out if you want, but I bet you they don't do anything. But she felt like she needed she had to do something, so she did report him missing. And fast forward to August 13th. August 13th, she was contacted by a new investigator and said that they were newly assigned to her case for her missing son, and that, you know, they were going to be taking on the case now, just letting her know for information's sake, because over the months she had been asking the police had they had any new information, and they kept telling her no, they didn't. So this new investigator was on as of August 13th, and no less than 2 weeks later, they contacted her and told her that they had found her son, okay, and took her to the son's grave site. Apparently, they have a place where they bury bodies that aren't claimed, you know, and if they don't know their names or whatever, they'll bury them there. Because, you know, the body still needs to be buried somewhere, apparently. I guess they don't cremate those bodies. They bury them. So they took her to a grave. It was simply marked 672, you guys. Can you imagine? And that's where her son lay. So then she finally got the actual story of what happened that night. Apparently, the man had then left the house after their argument, and less than an hour later, he had been hit by the police. He was crossing a interstate. He was crossing an interstate highway, and the police hit him. They said that he didn't have any ID on him, but apparently he had a prescription bottle, and it, you know, with pills in it, or a pill inside of it, and had his name on there. So that was the way that they were able to identify him. Apparently the morgue or whoever was responsible for checking him out or whatever said that they let the police know who he was, and, you know, for them, they expected them to reach out to the next of kin, because that's just the normal order of the way they do things. But apparently the police never told the mother, okay? And they ended up, he sat in the morgue for months, unclaimed, and then eventually they buried him. So, yeah, you know, even though they're saying that it has nothing to do with the lawsuit that happened with her brother, I don't know if I can believe that. Like, it's just the coincidence. I mean, if not, it's just hella coincidental, right? But it sounds very fishy. And kudos to the new investigator who uncovered all of this and, you know, made it a point to let the woman know, because everybody should know what happened to their child, whether their child is alive or dead. You know, if he dead, I need to know what happened, okay? So I think that's great that the investigator, you know, did the right thing and let her know, because that investigator really could have just let it go. We never would have known, okay? But now we've got new problems for the, you know, the Jackson City Police and in Mississippi, the state and everything, because it sounds like it's been a cover up here. So what I'm saying is, if I was old girl, okay, Miss Betterston, I'd be suing everybody whose name I can get a hold of, okay? Hopefully that's what she's doing. I'm sure she got sense enough to know that she has a lawsuit against these people. Somebody need to pay, okay? So, yeah, when we know more about that case, I'll let you guys know. But, yeah, y'all filed down there in Jackson. At least the police are. Well, not all of them, but these ones.
Different touch, put your ass on my plate. I don't skip the lunch, I don't skip the brunch, not the dinner neither. And we hella close, not a centimeter.
All right, you guys, next story up. This is a rest in peace to another legendary actor that we have lost, especially in our Black community, you guys. RIPRichardRoundtree. I'm sure you guys know the name. He has been around for many, many, many years. You guys know him. Most people know him from the 1970s show Shaft, where he was, you know, investigator police or whatever, you know, extra cool, extra sexy, you know, all of that. Who is the man? I'm not gonna sing, you guys. Anyway, you guys know him from Shaft. We also know him from Roots. More recently, if you guys watched him as the father on Being Mary Jane, you know, Richard Roundtree is a household name. We've known him for many, many years. He battled breast cancer, which is something that you don't hear many men having to deal with. You hear more about it now, but back when he had breast cancer, you didn't hear about it. He was able to beat breast cancer. And he did become like a spokesperson, talking about how men also need to be aware that they, you know, even though they don't have breasts, that they still need to be aware that they can get lumps and shit all in, you know, in their breast chest area as well. And yeah, we just have always seen Richard Roundtree, good looking man. I was looking at an interview of him last night. I was like, that man looked good till the very end. Okay, beautiful dark skin. Okay, that shit looked like chocolate on a velvety night, just as smooth. And then he had the white ass beard, and he's just a good looking man. Anyway, yeah, he has died. They said he died after 2 months of battle with pancreatic cancer. You guys know that usually people who die from pancreatic cancer, they say that by the time you have been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, it's usually too late, because there's not really a screening for it ahead of time. Or so you wouldn't know to look to see if a person has pancreatic cancer until they start getting sick. And by the time you get sick, that's when it's really already advanced quite a bit. So 2 months is not a long time. You know, we will continue to debate whether or not that's good. You know, do you have 2 months to prepare yourself, or 2 months of dreading the day? You know, I don't know which one is better, but yeah, just too bad. And we have lost a legend. His work obviously will live on forever and ever. But yeah, I was saddened to hear about old Richard Roundtree again. It's a whole bunch of people. I mean, a lot of people that has died this year. But I feel like I say that every year, you guys. So Richard Roundtree, I don't believe was currently married, but he's been married twice. Divorced twice, okay? He had 5 children. Rest in peace to Richard Roundtree.
Getting in between this, so you two turned up. Never turn down though, when there's big energy, when I come around though. All right, you guys, next story up is a warning to all of you guys out there who might have heart issues, heart conditions, heart illness. The charged lemonades at Panera Bread. Now, if you guys frequent Panera Bread, you guys know that they have 3 lemonades over there. One's like a cranberry apple, Fiji apple, cranberry. There's a regular charged lemonade, and there's another one, but they're quite popular at Panera Bread. And they were right over there with the rest of the sodas, right? The rest of the drinks. Apparently a young girl, 16-year-old Sarah Katz, she went to a Panera Bread with her friends, and she ordered a charged lemonade. By the time she drank the charged lemonade while her and her friends sat there at the restaurant and ate, she had a heart attack. They called the ambulance. She was rushed to the hospital. She had a second heart attack there, and then she ended up dying. So now the family is suing the Panera Bread, the restaurant, because they feel that the drink, the charged lemonade, which they found have like all these different variations of caffeine in it, they believe that the drink is mislabeled, that it needs to be shown as an energy drink as opposed to just a regular lemonade. So don't ever switch. Know you've been looking, won't find it like this. Know you've been looking for a nigga that handle them curves. I'm Jimmy Johnson with this. I'm Jimmy Johnson with this. That I test, I'm like grinding this bitch. I cycle, I swim, and I run. Whatever you need, I'm trying out the line with the dick. It needs to be said that it's an energy drink, because you guys know that these energy drinks have so much sugar, so much caffeine, 3 and 4 and 5 times like the amount that you probably should have in a setting. So those drinks are specifically set for you to be able to take when you need that jolt of energy. But if you have health problems, you know, if you buy energy drinks and you look on the side, if you have a health problem, heart issues, it tells you that, you know, you probably should not drink this drink. There's warnings on the drinks to let you know that. But like I said, at Panera Bread, it's not labeled in that way, so people wouldn't know. Just the fact that it's called charged lemonade doesn't necessarily alert a person to think that it might have caffeine in it. And I mean, I would never think that lemonade would have caffeine in it, right? You drink a lemonade, you thinking that you're doing something right, that you're doing something where it's just lemons, water, and maybe some sugar, you know, a little bit of sugar or whatever. You're not feeling like, or in my case, a lot of sugar, but you're not feeling like caffeine is in there. They said those caffeine drinks, those lemonades at Panera Bread is like drinking a bunch, like a seriously high caffeinated like espresso shot from Starbucks, okay? But just having more of that in your system than you're supposed to. So after she had died, the family has now decided that they're going to not only sue Panera Bread, but they also want, you know, the correct label that's placed on the lemonade. Depending on whether or not they win that case, which I believe that they have a pretty good solid case just from hearing, you know, what I've heard, Panera might have some more lawsuits that come their way. I've seen viral videos on TikTok, people talking about, of course, now that this has happened with the young girl, now I've seen other people making videos on TikTok that are talking about how good the lemonade is and how it makes them do this, that, and the other. I mean, like how an energy drink would do, okay? And I say all this just because I've read it, because I have never had an energy drink. I've never drank one. So I don't even really know what happens with the energy drink. I'm gonna just stick with coffee. But I remember there was a time when the energy drinks, and it probably is still maybe, but you could get like a Red Bull martini and all. I think people stopped doing those now because of stuff like this, that people were getting drunk but hyped up. So you got like a downer and a upper going at the same time, and it's fucking with your heart and your heartbeat and the blood flow and all of this. So they pretty much stopped making Red Bull martinis, but I can remember a time when they were really, really popular and everybody used to say how good they were. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Prayers up for the Katz family. Yes, I believe totally that they have a case there. Have you guys ever had the charged lemonades at Panera Bread? I feel like I might have had one years and years and years ago, but of course I don't have any heart issues, so I wouldn't know. But the family says they looking for some compensation and they want some changes, so I think it's going to happen for them. It's just going to be a matter of time.
Turn on the lights, take a flick. Just don't be running this shit. Hey, I can see you as my chick. Nah.
All right, you guys, next story up. So Destiny Lachey Peyton Williams. You guys might know her from the show Love and Marriage Huntsville. Destiny is not on this newest season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. She was taken off after she just continuously annoyed the viewers of the show. I didn't think that Destiny was that bad. However, I do believe that Destiny was on a mission to just not really give us her life, and was very passive aggressive in the way that she handled things. Like, I just feel like she just could have been a better representation of herself on that show. I think she did herself a disservice, because I felt like she deserved to be on the show. But then when she was on the show and wasn't really giving us nothing, I was just sort of like, girl. And then, she just continued, wanted to stay mad at Mel. It was just sort of like, whatever. But anyway, Destiny has found herself in a new kerfluffle, if you will. So apparently there was a Crime Stoppers segment out there in Huntsville. I said, whoever prepares the Crime Stoppers segment in Huntsville, Alabama, one, must watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. They either are a fan or they hate them people on that show, because they are forever bringing they shit to us, right? I'm just like, damn, are there any other criminals out there in Huntsville? Y'all so busy trying to see what the hell the Love and Marriage Huntsville people is doing. But anyway, so they had a segment, and they said that she was wanted for forging her husband's name on a utility contract. Okay. Now, that sounds really, really like official and like for real, like a utilities contract, as if it was like this big government contract that was, when you read that, you just like, what exactly did she do? Well, we don't know exactly what she did, but what we believe happened is when she was opening up her business, Madani Beauty, she had a brick and mortar, and the utilities contract is the same as a utilities bill. Basically, she opened up her utilities in her ex-husband's name, LeBerick. Okay, you guys remember LeBerick was on the first season, kind of in and out. We saw him a little bit. He didn't never seem like he wanted to be on the show. It looked like it was more Destiny that wanted to be on the show. And the problem was, I think that she wanted to be on the show as a couple with him, but I think that they were already having problems in their marriage. And then here you are trying to get on a show that's supposed to be about you guys' marriage, but you guys are having problems. So I think that LeBerick didn't really want to be on the show. She wanted to be on the show, and that's where the problems had been. Okay. She finally did get on the show. She managed to be on the show even without him, so that was a feat. But then she didn't give anybody anything. But basically in the same time, while she got on the show, she had her business, so she signed his name. I guess maybe, we don't know if he was aware that she did it or not. Okay. He's now saying that he was not aware. But back then, when they were married, they were actively together and all. It's kind of hard to say, like, whether or not he could have just been like, no, go on and sign my name. Just get it, so we can put the business up. Now, we don't know if that is a conversation that those two might have had. And LeBerick is saying that they did not have that conversation. So, I mean, if he's saying that that's what happened, then, I mean, he ain't gave us no reason not to believe him either. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, how did all of this happen? Okay. But apparently, once Madani Beauty closed down, I don't know if it's reopened, but once it closed down because of the pandemic, she wasn't getting any business and all of that. Most likely she stopped paying her bills, okay? The utilities, especially on that property. And probably forgot that she got those bills in her husband's name, okay? Either forgot or didn't care, because now they're not together. So she might have just been like, oh, fuck it. But LeBerick, once he realized that either she was purposely or accidentally ignoring those bills over there, then he decided to press charges. And that is how the Crime Stoppers segment came about. She didn't know anything about it. Well, I don't know if she knew. Okay, nobody has really spoken on it. The only video that we've seen from Destiny is the morning after the Crime Stoppers segment. She was actually at the courthouse. She was at the courthouse with her father, and she was waiting to turn herself in. Now, I don't know if she was arrested then. I don't believe that she was. She probably just had to go and do the paperwork and pay the fine or whatever she had to do. And maybe she's going to have a court date, a court date eventually. And maybe then she'll be able to tell her side of the story. But, yeah, it's too bad. But the shit like this happens when divorces happen, and divorce is not amicable. These two are not having a happy divorce, okay? It's too bad that the blood has gotten so bad between the two of them, that these two can't find a place where when they used to be really in love with each other, now, reduced to this man pressing charges against not even the woman that he loved at one time, but the mother of his child. You could possibly be setting up for your woman to be put in jail. Now, she shouldn't have did what she did. Okay, that's illegal. So, I mean, it's consequences, right? So I'm not saying that Destiny should not be in trouble. But what I'm saying is, it's just too bad that as a husband, as a man that used to love this woman, as a father of my child, like, you really pressing charges against me about these utilities contracts. There's nothing that we could do between the two of us to work this out, okay? But I guess LeBerick was like, shit, you can't do nothing to my credit. But if he can prove that it was stolen, but I guess maybe, okay, that's probably the answer right there. He might have had to have charged her in order to get that shit taken off of his credit. I think that the company probably was just like, the only way that we'll know that you two didn't plan this together and now you guys are trying to get over on us is that you're going to have to press charges, because then we'll know that she did it, behind your back. So that might be what he did. He might have been between a rock and a hard place, or he could just be an ass, okay? Or maybe Destiny could possibly deserve it. I don't want to think that she would, but you don't know what people do to people behind closed doors. Destiny doesn't strike me as that type, but I mean, you can't never really tell, child. So nobody has spoken on it. We know that she did turn herself in. So we at least know that she's been in compliance and that she ain't out there on the run. But, we'll hear more about that story. Maybe she'll make it back to Love and Marriage Huntsville. People was like, oh, she gonna come back now because she need a check. It's not up to her. First of all, you guys was adamant that you wanted the girl off the show. Okay? The girl lost her job, and that meant that she lost her income, so she can't really afford to do all of these things anymore, So it's not like it's easy enough for her to just be like, okay, Carlos, I'm coming back. And side note, I did hear about Carlos and Erica Mena, but I couldn't do it, y'all. I'm sorry. So there won't be, just letting you know, there won't be a Carlos and Erica Mena segment in here, because y'all, I couldn't do it, y'all. I done sat through enough of shit that I didn't want to see. I don't give one bit of a fuck about Erica Mena, so no. But anyway, yeah, Destiny can't just call Carlos and be like, I'm coming back. It has to be a demand. And so far, I mean, hell, Destiny, I mean, the whole show in trouble to me, if you ask me, so I don't know. But yeah, as far as this is concerned, y'all have to let me know what you think. Do you think it's pretty fucked up that the ex-husband pressed charges against his ex-wife? Or is it just sort of like, well, you knew the shit was illegal and you did it anyway? Or do you believe that these two might have even done it together at that time, but now shit is bad and the opportunity to press the charges is here, so he's done it? You know, you guys will have to let me know. And again, I am very aware that in divorces, there's a lot of bad things that happen on both sides, okay? So one person might not even be totally right and the other might be totally wrong. Everybody might be a mixture of both, okay? But it's sad when marriages end like this, so. But you guys let me know what you think about that, and we'll move on to the next story.
You is my bitch. You keep it natural, stay in your bag like you wearing satchels. Hey, baby, you a godsend, just missing the sandals. But still, you ain't missing.